Get to know the babes behind the brand as they talk business, women supporting women, and share what it's really like to work in the fashion industry.
Welcome back.
Live from LA.
I do. Donni Ray here, founder and creative director of Privilege.
And it's Leah. I am the operations manager. I forgot my title. I totally
And we're
blank.
not only live from LA, we're live from a different part of LA.
It was actually really exciting
We're
to
like
get
on
into
location,
a car.
on location.
I haven't left the condo in like 3 days.
Yeah, it's like Tom Hanks, the movie Terminal.
Yeah.
Us at level.
I felt like that, but probably less time.
Except like one person would do a run to Whole Foods every 8 hours.
And we had a celebrity spotting in Whole Foods today.
Yeah, you have to tell me about that.
Should I tell after we interview our guests? Because
because
actually that ties into my boss moment. Okay.
I want to hear, so make sure.
Oh, yes. Yes. What started as a way to connect with other 20-somethings has grown into a supportive community of women from all over the world. They talk about all things health, wellness, entrepreneurship, self-development, humor, and most importantly, honesty. Welcome, Krista and Lindsey from Almost 30.
Hi.
Welcome, ladies.
Okay, hold up.
Gorgeous
also,
babes.
you failed to mention that they are like two of the most beautiful dewy skin
Oh my God,
I've ever like your
cute.
skin. You both are like glowing.
I feel like I can't even look at you because you're both glowing.
Oh my gosh.
So your
That collagen,
skin,
baby. Is that grease?
your skin is gorgeous.
So sweet.
That overload of collagen
Honestly,
creamer.
I take so many vitamins and do so many things.
Yeah.
It's like I have no
Who
idea what
knows?
it is. Honestly,
showing.
like people are like, "What works?" I'm like,
I
100
don't
things. Literally.
It's a short list, but like let me email it to
Yeah,
you.
honestly, I'm like, it's literally 80 vitamins.
I'll share my Google Doc with you.
Yes.
Or the other good one is like, it's the middle of summer and I'm hot and sweaty, but thanks.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's another good one.
It's really the sweat from a long
I'm just
day.
sweating. Thank you for noticing. I'm hormonal. Let's jump into Boss or Bust. Donni, kick us off.
Yes.
I love the sound effects. Okay, I'm gonna take a boss because I've been trying this new way. I've been working at sales in the business. I've been working on the wholesale end, and so organization is not usually my strength. But I've started using a new notebook for like sales specifically, and like kind of manifesting like bigger goals, and each page kind of targeted to a different account that I'm working with or talking to, and trying to, because usually I like start the conversation and then you know how sales goes. You kind of like, you have to follow up, they follow up, and then you kind of lose track. But I've been really, really diligent with using my notebook and keeping it all organized. Yeah. And I have notes every time I follow up. I follow up like the date and what I did. And I just feel like I'm impressed with my organization. So I'm going to take that as a boss.
That's such a boss. I feel like really proud of you.
Because you know that that's not you. That's not really me and my style. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Totally.
You're like, and I hope it makes my job easier.
Yeah, well, I hope it works.
Yeah, you're like, I'm so glad she's doing that.
But it's like, how do you expect yourself to remember? Like, I feel like we all put way too much expectation on ourselves to just remember things. Yeah. Like, we're human beings.
Gosh, I don't know how I remember things.
Like, I don't even
I write everything down. My notes, I probably have like 100 notes, and they're all full of things.
Yeah.
I just wonder if I remember most things, but like when I just wonder if it's stressing me out. You know what I mean?
It is. It's unnecessary.
Yeah. Like if it's like, if my brain would rather not be always kind of like thinking about little things, like being like, oh,
It just keeps you distracted too. I feel like in the morning, I'm pretty good at like making a list of like the day of like what I need to get done, but it's just hard to go back to other days and not like lose contacts and actually like keep the conversation going.
for sure.
What I did, and it was such a good habit of mine for so long, I want to get back to it, is every day I would start a new notebook page, which can seem wasteful, but you fill it. And I would transfer over everything that were like my top 3 or 5 items that I needed to do for that day, or missed items from the previous day. And then that was like my blank slate every morning.
Yeah.
So I would just like,
That's
that
good.
was my page.
Like, it's like old school pen and paper. I feel like it's like the most useful tool of everything. Honestly, like Google Docs and stuff like that, like I don't quite jive with. Like, it's a bit much.
Don't you find that if you write something down too, your brain remembers
I
it
think
better? Like,
it's-
I can visually see something I've written down and go back in my notebook.
I learned for sure.
Yeah. Okay, my boss is super, super shallow and simple, but Hunter and I went to Whole Foods to grab some lunch for us. We had some kale salad cravings. and we had a celebrity spotting. My first one of the whole trip because
so
I
curious.
have been confined to our
I don't
condo.
want to guess.
Yeah.
I feel like you'll
Can you
never
give us a
guess
clue?
it.
You are
okay.
never, ever going to guess this. Okay, do you two know the movie The Princess Bride?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. The prince
No. Oh, no.
of the two? The bride?
The older guy, the short, bald old guy.
Yes. He's like, wow. Talks
Yes,
like that.
yes.
Yeah. He's like, wow.
We saw him and we both saw him and we were just like playing it cool. Like that's the guy from Princess Bride. Well, except Hunter doesn't know that movie. So she knows him from something else. And we like walked by and I was like, did you see that? And she's like, yeah. Did he make eye contact with you? I was like, yeah. And she's like, it looked like he thought we were somebody because he like kept looking at us and like looking back and forth. And we were like, are you an old creepy person?
He probably realized you recognize
you
him.
also
Yeah, I mean, it could be that.
He wanted you to say hi and ask him to like sign something.
Yeah.
Maybe
your
he
boob.
did because it was a quick glance for me, but I was like, I can feel you looking at me still.
Hey, Hunter, did you recognize him from The Princess Bride? Have you seen The Princess Bride? No.
She doesn't know what that is.
Okay.
He was in Gossip Girl?
He was
Whoa.
Blair's dad in Gossip Girl is what Hunter's saying.
Interesting.
I just want to
That's
say
a hilarious spotting.
I've been waiting for a celebrity spotting since we arrived to LA and I got it. So that's a boss for me.
There was a big celebrity where we were last night. I'm sure because there was like security and there was like an altercation. But I also would never want to be the creep
No.
to like find out who it was. But like, I don't know who it was and it's kind of driving me crazy that
Where
I
were
don't
you?
know. We're at Tironi. Downtown. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
The pasta was unbelievable.
probably less cool than, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or just like somebody powerful and
It's LA.
unrecognizable. You never know.
It's like,
It could be anybody that we don't even know. Okay, Krista, boss or bust?
Boss for sure. My bust moments, I just kind of like let go, but I think boss because I've been really working on my mental like conversation that I have with myself about certain things, and I've been really focusing on that the past week or so, and just really like letting things that I learned through the podcast sink in and anything nice sink in. So I've just been really working on my mental state, and it feels really, really good to be there.
That's amazing.
Couldn't agree more. I feel like that was one of the things I was working on in one of the last podcasts. Just like being kinder. I think you can never stop trying at that.
Yeah, 100%. Like, yeah, you just would be blown away at how far you are, you know, thinking about that. But even just silly things related to my body or what I'm eating, it's kind of just like presence enough to be like, oh, I'm so grateful for this salad that I'm eating. This is so healthy. Like a farmer had to grow it, and then someone had to clean it, and someone had to prepare it for me, and then I was able to have enough money to eat it. You know, there's just, if we really think about everything that is involved with everything that we do, like I'm so grateful for this beautiful mug that I was able to drink this out of. It's silly, but it just really helps you to just be more present in the moment and hopefully bring more. You know?
I
love
started
that.
making my kids do that actually
that's my
because
dream.
I was noticing just like really negative statements. And so I started this thing where I was like, if somebody in the house says something negative, someone can stop you and be like, say 5 positive things right now. Either 5 things you're grateful for or 5 just positive statements.
Yeah, I love
And it's
that.
actually so hard when you're in
sweet.
the moment if you're upset or kind of frazzled about something, especially like I stopped Ev and I was like, say 5 positive things. Like, no, I'm not playing this game. And I was like, do it right now or I'm going to be so mad at you. And I like made him do it. And then after we were like laughing, you know, like it just lightens the mood to say something out loud, even if you don't even believe your own bullshit in that moment.
know.
It helps a lot with anxiety.
Yeah.
Like to be stopped and be like,
Yes.
say 5 things you're grateful for. Or it might even be a stretch to think of 2.
Yeah.
But it pulls you back to the present and then it kind of flips your...
My 5-year-old Emerson, he gets really worked up and then I have to remove him from situations. He's just like, kids don't have the ability to regulate, you know, at that point. So I'll look him in the eye and be like, what are you grateful for? And make him say it. And it works 10 times out of 10.
Wow.
Yeah. And I just feel
It's
like
so powerful.
I'm trying to teach him that tool to do that himself.
Yeah. I love that.
And then maybe
Gratitude
like
to do
they'll
with my
believe their
kids.
own gratitude. at some
Gratitude is
point.
so powerful.
Yeah. What is the quote about gratitude? It's like happiness doesn't create gratitude. Gratitude creates happiness.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a
So
good one.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll think, oh, when I have all of those things that I want, that I'm working for, then I'll be grateful. When I have that like 6-figure job or the house that I want or the car that I want, then I'll have something to be grateful for, instead of like being grateful for the mug that's right in front of you and the meal that
You always
had.
want more. You know what I mean?
Your hands and your ability to like carry a conversation and have a podcast, whatever it is, like you're grateful for.
Yeah, there's so much. Yeah. So that's definitely mine, and it just
like
feels so good.
It's good.
That's really good. Lindsay, what are you working on? I mean, what's your boss or bust? Oh my word.
Boss. I woke up this morning and I was supposed to go to a 7 a.m. workout, and I didn't do what I planned to do, and I just didn't feel up to it, and I instead like slept 1 more hour, and then I just like had a morning to myself, which was so nice.
So nice.
And like, I'm just trying not to be so on autopilot where it's, you know, we live by our calendars, which is great. And also some days just like a lot. So to the times when I don't have to be so scheduled, I'm trying not to be.
Yeah.
So saying no to a workout, even though I paid for it and can't cancel it anymore, I'm like, the value of 1 more hour of sleep and having a slow, quiet morning to myself is much more than like forcing myself to go to this cardio bar. You know what I mean? Like, so I stretched and I just like kind of did things that felt better this morning. And, but like the next day I might want to get up and like get after a workout. So just like being very in tune with what I need.
I think that's such a boss.
Yeah.
Well, if we're like mad at ourselves for not doing the workout, it kind of turns the workout into a negative thing right there.
And then it puts stress on your body and your mind that will inevitably hold on to the weight that you want to like maybe keep off or lose. Like it's a weird cycle that
Or
like
even just anything that would be released during that workout,
Exactly.
you're taking it all back on.
I feel like this stress and sleep is another one. They're probably the biggest things that are like attributed to like weight in our body and like have effect on every cell in our body. So it's like it's equivalent or like so much more important than that one workout.
Yeah, there's so much. We have so many people on the podcast that talk about that, you know, even working out less, like so lowering your cortisol or letting your hormones like rebalance when you're doing relaxing restorative things. It's like so important. And I think that there's going to be a transition from everyone doing all these workouts, like, you know, which we've done and we still do, but like Barry's and Soul Cycle all the time, to like being more slow, taking slow walks, you know, stretching, or just being more intuitive with your body instead of forcing it to do things for reasons that you think are going to help but are really just reasons from other people.
Oh yeah. It seems that there's a shift more towards what's healthy and best for you and your mental state and your physical state, rather than just like powering through a new fad or whatever. Yeah. We haven't had a lot of new fads lately, but yeah, it's more about mental health.
If you look at like the physical of people, it's the happy, balanced people that look the best regardless. Like it's not all about like that rock hard body.
100%.
Yeah, I
Totally.
I mean, I did not go to the gym this morning either, so you're not alone.
I also chose sleep, and I'm very proud of myself for that.
Good job. That's great.
I needed a mental break. Like I wanted sleep and lie in my bed and get up and have a shower and get ready slowly and go for coffee. That's what I wanted to do this morning.
That is so beneficial too.
The morning of dreams.
Yeah. Donni, what's your weekly obsession?
Weekly obsession. Okay, I think I'm not the only one in this room, but that the Palm beauty box that was sent to us.
Oh yeah.
I noticed like you guys had some in your bathroom that I packed like all of the contents on the trip. And oh my God, like so it's so
I love
good.
it. I love it.
The dry shampoo, and then there's this like second day like puff thing that you can like put in your hair.
Yes, the
what
pink.
was that called? The pink puff thing.
We can share the link.
Short hair, like I just kind of chopped my hair.
It looks great.
Like so perfect for it. Exactly what I needed. So, and then there was like a hair oil mask that I was like going to try tonight. So
we'll post the link in our Facebook group if you guys are curious
and
on the products.
I think we're podcasting with them, so we'll get to talk about it more. But this week, for sure, it's been my current obsession because I've been using it like every single day.
That was such a good box.
So is it a box?
It's a subscription
with like a beauty
box.
box?
There's actually was like a silk pillowcase, a shower cap, like all of these like really, really cute products. It was
and it's
pretty good
tailored
box.
to your hair type. So when they were sending them to us, they asked us all of our hair types. Well, I asked
What did
Kate
you guys
all
say?
of our
Like
hair types.
dry 35-year-old hair? Is that what you said?
Same.
And we got all these products filled in this subscription box that they're offering publicly that are totally tailored to your hair.
It's pretty into it.
And
The
like
shower curl's pretty
good
cute,
salon
too.
quality products.
Oh, I love that.
Genius.
It's a great idea.
Genius.
I'm pretty stoked about trying the hair mask. Actually,
Yeah.
it was a pretty cute.
I use a
container.
mask
I'm like,
every
I'm sure
time I
this is
shower.
good.
Yeah.
Every time I wash my hair, I put a mask in, just because it just is so hydrating.
Yeah.
I don't want my hair
So
to break.
good for blonde.
Blonde, especially.
I don't need a mask.
Yes.
But I see
then
why
it's
you
like-
do. Oh yeah, I'd be greasy. My weekly obsession, if anyone doesn't already know it, is the Whole Foods kale salad and their whole like salad
vegan
bar
mac and
section, the
cheese?
vegan mac and cheese. Like that, I'm obsessed. Every time we
Do you
walk
guys have
in
Whole
there.
Foods up in
We have one, but it's like an hour
not
and a
near
half
us.
away from where we are.
Oh, okay.
And it's not the same as here. Like we don't have as big of a section. I don't know what section you call that, but like that build your own box kind of thing.
Hot bar.
hot. Yeah,
Hot bar. Oh my gosh.
Have
I'm
you go-
dying over it.
That's amazing.
it's like fast casual area.
Yeah, and it's like I love that they list the ingredients and they list the allergens.
Yeah.
So like walking in, if I have a dairy allergy, I was like, oh, I know exactly everything I can eat, and it's
Yeah,
like
that's
these
so
same
helpful.
ingredients that I would use at home.
The one in downtown LA. I've been to that one too.
So nice.
Yeah,
like
it's a good
not
one.
only
Really
having
good
one
one.
option when you have food allergies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Or restrictions.
You're telling me about it.
You guys should go to Ear One.
Yeah.
I've heard about
We heard
this.
Yeah.
I heard it's so chic
Yeah,
and
it's the
just like wonderful. And
It's
everywhere.
right down the
Sounds like
road
next
here.
level.
Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Oh,
honestly.
save
On
that
Wilshire.
the way.
Before you guys go to dinner, you should
So good.
hit it up because it's the best.
Amazing.
It is
Okay.
like Whole Foods, but like next.
But I'm
level.
also just like, we live in Canada, so I'm just super mad at all our grocery stores.
Yeah,
it's
like,
what are you
It's
gonna
not the
do?
same.
We don't have Trader Joe's or anything good like that either. Like finding organic good food is hard.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
if you do, it's really expensive.
Really?
So it's just not like as accessible as it is
Yeah.
here.
I need a reminder. I needed that reminder.
Yeah. So I'm obsessed over that. Whole
Something to be
Foods.
grateful for.
Yeah,
Yeah,
honestly.
truly.
Yes.
I forget about
That
that.
it's easy and accessible and down the street. That's pretty cool.
Honestly.
So cool. Krista, what is your weekly obsession?
My obsession, so Tarte BB cream. We were talking about this before. Tarte. I've been using it for 2 years now, and it just is like a little luminous, and it's really easy.
Your skin looks
put
like you're
on.
going to the
I know,
Oscars.
it's crazy.
Oh, thanks. And it's like a full coverage BB cream, so it just has the perfect color. It's pretty. It's not all natural, but it's very close to being natural. And I just love that it's like full coverage. So Tarte BB cream, you can get it from Sephora.
Yep.
And then the other thing is gua sha.
God damn it.
Damn it, were you gonna say that?
No.
You can't have two.
I know, because they wanted to make it spicy. Because I felt
ahead.
like the Tarte BB we were talking
I
about
have many
before.
more where that came from.
You do have a lot.
Dig
So the
into
gua sha
the
tools,
resource.
like the jade roller, or you can get a rose quartz one, or we have a white
The gua sha,
turquoise.
I've seen those.
Yes.
Like the little
tools.
facial.
Donni, there is one sitting on your desk.
Yes.
Just
Can't wait
so
to
you
She's like, I
know.
put it there before we
I
left.
know,
Just a little.
She's like, that was my gift, and it
Something to look forward to.
moves lymph in your face. It just helps sculpt your face, helps to like depuff, and
Amazing.
it really, it's just. I notice a difference, but it also just feels really nice to like massage your face, move collagen around. It's like gets the serum in. It's really awesome, and you can just get the tools anywhere. We have a really good one from Skin Owl. It's a white turquoise tool, and that's my favorite.
It's a great word, gua sha.
I know.
Gua sha.
I have them in my
really good
fridge. And you just kinda,
Oh,
first
that
thing in
would
the
feel
morning,
so
you see like
nice.
the effect. Like if you do one side of your face.
Yeah, because just
And
like
then
the
you
lip,
can
you
see.
never
You can,
have
like, see
eye
it.
puffy eyes.
Oh, we're gonna go immediately post a link in our
Yes.
Facebook group and get everybody hooked.
You should.
Super good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And especially if you have a serum. It's
Yeah.
really good for like putting in the serum and stuff like that. So,
Okay, I want to know,
Okay.
do you guys call it a serum or a serum?
oh gosh,
I say
Canadian
serum,
thing?
but
I
I
say-
think it's either.
serum.
You're the
It could
second
be a-
person I've heard
it
say
could be a
serum.
Canadian thing.
She also says Irwan, and I say Irwan.
Yeah. I say ear one. Wait, what do you guys say? Serum?
Serum.
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 Yeah, I'm definitely not right. I've really never
Again,
been right.
smart, but
One,
can't
I
pronounce
I know,
things.
very special.
I'm not
in
trying to
four.
say you're wrong. I'm just saying you're wrong.
No, it's very true. Literally, it's very true.
It's like Canada, United States.
Yeah, honestly.
We got it.
I said Toronto for a long time. She's like, it's Toronto. I'm like, Toronto. She's like, Toronto.
Kayla from our team is from.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. I think I
Toronto.
say Toronto.
I say Toronto. I
Oh,
say a lot of
really?
things
Same.
weird
I
though.
think you speak a little bit like a Canadian.
Yeah.
Almost.
I think
a
you
little.
do. I say a lot of things weird though. Don't take my advice. Like I say raccoon.
It's kind of
I'm
like
not
sexy.
This is real life.
That is
I
very
actually
weird.
say
It's
that.
That is sexier than raccoon.
It is
for sure.
way sexier
Yeah,
than raccoon. I'm like, oh, there's
Don't
a
see the
raccoon.
raccoon. Like what?
Yeah, like raccoon.
I'm
the
just a
raccoon
little
out of here.
sophisticated sometimes.
It's almost like sounds like a celebrity.
Yes.
raccoon. I say something else too.
Or
that we
like
were
a
talking about,
clothing
but,
line.
Oh, brand name.
Raccoon.
See? All right.
Raccoon. That would be the funniest plans.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, did you see that person wearing raccoon? Oh my god, that jacket was so chic.
Okay, Lindsey, your weekly obsession.
This week in particular, I'm obsessed with. I have these like vitamin C packs. I should actually get one to get the name correct, but Lipospheric C.
Lipospheric.
And it's like these gel vitamin C packs. I was not feeling amazing the other day and like feeling like I was gonna get sick, and I took one of those, and it also helps. If you take that with collagen, you're able to absorb the vitamin C or the collagen better. Anyway, I take them together.
Collagen
I've
and
heard
vitamin
that.
C.
I've heard that, and I don't know
Yeah.
which way it goes. I think it's probably both ways.
Yeah, they probably help each other.
Let's go with that.
But yeah, that's been really great, and it's also for me helped my skin a bit. So I subscribe to like the medical medium stuff. So if you believe that you have strep in your system, and strep is a part of why you are breaking out, vitamin C does help.
I deal with breakouts like all the time, like adult acne, and I just like have not been quite able to get to the bottom of it. I'm in a good place right now. Actually, I have like a good routine going, but that's really interesting to me.
Yeah, I think skin is so interesting. I'm like on my own journey too, and it's like so much of it. What I've realized recently through, actually, she's in Vancouver, Colette of Clarite Wellness. Is I had a session with her, and so much of it is emotional and things that are kind of like trapped in like what I haven't spoken about or been, you know, throughout my life. That's kind of been a theme, and so this is an area where a lot of that is held. So it's been interesting to be in therapy and to see her and to just kind of like get things out and move it through instead of have it being trapped in my body. How it's helped my skin.
It's amazing what happens when you can settle like some of your hormones on different levels, because stress and what you're holding on to affects your progesterone and your cortisol. So as you process that, I totally believe that. It changes your body.
A little bit back to vitamin C though. I heard a interesting fact about vitamin C recently that because you dissolve it so quickly, if you think you're fighting something, you can literally take it every hour.
Yeah, I think it filters through your body, and your body just pees it out. Like it's not fat
you
soluble.
Exactly. Maybe, exactly.
Huh.
Like some aminos are like that.
Oh,
You
that's good
can't
to
really
know.
overdose on them. You just kind of like get rid of the excess.
Yep.
So I feel like that's important. I'm not really
crazy.
regimented about taking vitamin C. I think based on your comment, I'm going to like be a little bit more mindful about that.
Yeah, totally.
I should probably take it too, because I don't really eat fruit, and I should. I've been thinking about that lately. I want to eat fruit again. Like I want to start buying it. I just don't buy it, and I buy it and it goes bad.
I'm not a big fruit eater either.
Yeah.
And I find it like goes to waste. My kids eat it a lot.
Oh,
so
that
it's
yeah.
like,
I don't crave fruit. I crave like the salty, savory
too.
things.
Yeah.
I would go to even greens before that, but mostly pasta and chips. So
Pasta.
You say pasta. I say
Pasta.
I love this.
Me too.
what do you say?
Pasta.
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 That's amazing.
Pasta.
Raccoon.
Pasta.
Raccoon and pasta?
Yeah.
Where am I? It's amazing.
You're like, did you guys just come over to mindfuck me? Like, where am I?
I know, I'm obsessed with it. It's amazing.
Raccoon is the funniest thing ever.
Raccoon.
Leah.
No, Donni, it's not raccoon. It's raccoon.
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 It's definitely not.
I'm gonna
but
say
okay.
that.
That's how I say it.
Makes you seem
Let's
rich.
just change it. I think it would be like a new trend. I think.
Raccoon.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Let's
gonna
make it a
I'm
new
gonna do
trend.
it.
Boss Babe Crush.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yes.
Just because she's like popped up on my feed recently, and obviously like I'm always gushing about Goop and everything Goop, and she's totally a boss babe. But she was just like she was like posted this photo of her beaming, not a stitch of makeup on, and wrinkles on her face, and just like effortless, and looked so happy and so beautiful. And I was like, I had so much admiration for her in that moment of posting that. And I started kind of creeping through her feed. And she's obviously friends with this powerhouse group of women. And they're all just like Jen Meyer and Drew Barrymore and Cameron Diaz. And there's all these pictures and they're all flawless, natural beauties. And just like no cares in the world for like all the conventions of, you know, it was just the opposite of like if you're following all the Kardashians. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but like it felt really good to be like women confident with their age and with their faces. And I was just inspired by it. And I was
I'm so all about this.
yeah. So that's.
I really appreciate that. And I also love what you said because it ties into what my thing was that I was working on before is like you complimented their beauty, but right away you notice how happy they looked.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
I love that.
And also like youthful.
Yeah.
Like because it was like, I'll be like, oh my gosh, I need to get Botox because like my lines are back or this, but like her laugh lines and her was like what made her look like a little girl.
Yeah.
It was actually the
less
sweetest
makeup.
picture.
Yeah.
And she was celebrating 1 million followers on Goop. And I was like, it just made me rethink everything that we do, which almost has a backwards effect.
Yeah. She gets so
completely
much
agree.
crap too.
I
I
bet.
really appreciated her more when I heard about the Harvey Weinstein thing, that she kind of moved away from Hollywood and from being an actress when she like met him and when he was kind of like trying to
Really?
do his thing
I didn't
with
hear
her.
this.
Yeah, that's a lot of the reason why she isn't acting anymore and she started Goop. So it really helped her to pivot, but I mean I thought that was
She was
really
also a really
interesting.
great actress. And it's like really disappointing that.
Yeah. But I mean Goop is amazing and
Oh yeah.
you know, it's such a resource for like cutting edge
Wellness.
Yeah.
And like, it's just so many great recipes. And there's so many, like she was, I feel like one of the founding boss babe women in our generation.
Yeah.
So true.
So that's an easy answer. What about you?
Okay, my boss babe crush, and I'm actually surprised that I haven't shared this yet because I've talked about her book this week a lot on when we've been recording, and I've like shared quotes with you and some thoughts from it. But it's an author. Well, she's not just an author, but her name is Brene Brown, and
What was the name of the book again?
Dare to Lead.
Dare to Lead. Okay.
It's about leadership and how to lead from a place of vulnerability.
We agreed that I'm not going to read it, but Leah's just going to like give me snippets from the book.
I'm going
all
to
you
send
need.
her
Send me
like
pictures of
pictures of the
quotes.
best parts of the book. It's an intense book, and I admit that it's taken me longer to read it because I would read a section and be like, I got to read that again. Like I really need to experience it and go through it slowly because I
She's
really
such
want
a
to
beautiful
take
writer
it in.
too, where it just kind of like takes you and you're like, wow.
Yeah, and some of it you have to read it again, or I did anyhow, because I was like, this is profound. I really want to soak this in because it's really connecting with me. Yeah, she's just amazing. She's a really well-educated, well-articulated, smart, thoughtful, intentional woman, but leads from a place of not like, oh, I'm so smart and uppity and like you should probably be smarter. She's like, be more vulnerable, lead from the heart, be brave, be courageous. I like what she's about, and yeah,
she's
for sure
incredible.
my boss babe crush. Yeah, what books have you guys read? Give
She's
us
incredible.
recommendations.
Her one on Oprah
Oh yeah,
is one of my favorite podcasts of all time.
yeah,
It's like
Her book, Big Magic.
yeah. I've heard about Big Magic.
it's
Or
Daring Greatly.
Daring Great. Or
Oh,
no. Who wrote Big Magic? What am I?
Elizabeth Gilbert.
Elizabeth Gilbert.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. I
that's a
could
good one.
picture the
Yeah.
cover.
Yeah. It's like
Super
so
bright and
colorful.
colorful.
Yes. That wasn't her though, right? Her podcast with Oprah was so good.
It was so
Listen
good.
to it. I have to go listen
You
to
should
this
listen.
maybe on
You'll
the
love it.
So
Donni.
good.
She's so amazing.
Yeah, our girls they're like, oh my God, get her on. I'm like, sure.
I'm like, hey guys, do you know Brene? Like,
Yeah, honestly, I'm like, y'all, like, we
can't just call Brene.
Yeah, honestly, I'm like, I'm flattered, but
Like, okay,
Everyone
everyone
chill
start
out.
DMing her.
I was thinking that. I'm like, they're like, should we DM her? I'm like, no. We're not like Ariana Grande fans.
yeah.
Like, yo, get her. Like, no.
Let it happen naturally.
Yeah, it will happen.
It will.
Yeah, you'll build your connections.
It won't happen, but like,
You don't know. You don't
yeah,
know.
it could.
Crazier things have happened.
It's
to
true.
us
I mean, I've
lately.
heard about her 3 times in the past day, so
If you manifest,
You can make it happen.
I can make it happen. I might see her at a grocery store.
Oh, you might.
Slip her my card.
Krista, who's your boss babe crush?
Jada Pinkett Smith.
Yeah,
Such a good one.
That's a good one.
I've been watching Red Table Talks, and I just think she is so evolved and sweet and cool and kind and, thoughtful and she just has a way to relate to everybody on the podcast, or everyone on Red Table Talk that she brings on in a really authentic way. You know, so you would think someone like that who's been married to Will Smith for 25 years, they're so rich, they live on this like oasis land, but she just always finds a way to connect with people and to really bring out the best in them in a really sweet way. And to see, you know, Willow, her daughter, who's an angel, like so thoughtful, the way that she presents herself on the show is just awesome. So I just love Red Table Talk, and Jada Pinkett Smith is like,
that's a good one. She's been also doing that and making an impact for a long time. Like I feel like it's kind of a trend now for people to be really mindful. And there's all these platforms for people to do podcasts or to chat about it. But I heard something quite a while ago. She had this little video, and it was literally like a babes supporting babes movement, and it was really profound.
wow.
And I can't remember what it was on. I'll try to think about it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure
But she spoke. She was so articulate, and she
Yes.
spoke so well. And I was like, I just liked her
and
message.
her openness, like she says crazy stuff that you would be like, you know, for Lindsey and I to say stuff, it's different than for Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith to say stuff, you know, because they're such a public
Like,
couple.
what was the
and
most shocking thing she said?
basically, she kind of confirms that they have an open relationship.
Because that's what I'm really curious about, if that's true.
She like confirms it. Basically, she's like, you know, I'm the happiest I've been right now because we've redefined the structure of our relationship. We don't call it a marriage anymore. We call it a partnership. And it just has said multiple times that they've reframed what it means to be a partner and the structure. And she alluded one time to like some other people, but I don't know, you know, it could be speculation, but that's what it sounded like to me, to be honest.
I don't know why that like upsets me to hear that they have an open relationship, because I've just pictured like them together forever. It's like, what? It's not real?
I know. Well, I think it's
But
real.
it is.
Yeah.
Totally. It's just redefined. It's on their terms, and I don't actually know them.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
but
Yeah. And I, you know, 25 years, and when you're actors and
that's
actresses,
a long
that's like
time. Yeah.
forever, you know, and I don't know if she was,
And they
I
were
don't know
young.
if she's straight, you know, like I don't know what her thing is. So I just think it's nice that they've respect each other enough to like honor those wishes and make an agreement to still stay together and love each other, but just mix it up.
Because think about it, so many couples would have those desires or questions or want to kind of like talk about it, and they instead wouldn't talk about it and would go behind the other's back or harbor resentment.
And then it's just broken.
You know,
And the
so
kids are
it's-
old enough now where they kind of get it.
And
you
the
know,
kids are beyond woke.
yeah,
The kids are like
beyond. They're
do what you
aliens.
want. Yeah. Yeah.
She's a good one.
They're a pretty cool family.
They're a cool family. Will Smith is the best. He's the
best.
awesome. Like
Yeah,
whenever he comes
is.
on and even says hi to people on the show, it's like he's just making fun of everyone. It's so fun. I'm like, you're so amazing. But I mean, what a life he lives, you know. They basically
Truly.
have like an entire staff on site for their like mansion.
It's definitely a crazy life. I can imagine. He's one of like the greatest of our generation. Honestly, he's had such an amazing career.
Completely agree.
Lindsey, who's your boss babe crush?
I'm going between a few. We've interviewed and met or seen women speak recently that have really been incredible. We recently saw Jameela Jamil speak. We're trying to get her on the podcast. Yeah, she's really challenging the status quo in advertising, the way brands represent women and the way advertisers, you know, draw customers and a following, and, you know, urging them to lean away from like portraying that perfect body or, you know, those skinny tees, and like basically zeroing in on people's weaknesses or insecurities to sell products. And so, yeah, she is not afraid to speak out and to really call brands out, call celebrities out. I think she feels like, you know, having a platform means having a responsibility to the people that follow you. So if you're a Kardashian and you're, you know, promoting skinny tea, you have 11-year-olds who are worshiping you and following you. So, you know, she had a really powerful segment at a recent conference we were at and brought down the house and just really spoke to us. You know, she was really engaged and articulate, and yeah, she's going to be on the pod.
That's exciting. I can't wait to listen.
Yeah.
I've seen quotes from I don't know if it's the same conference you're talking about, but I've seen a lot of quotes about her lately and things she said in like clips and things. And I liked her before that, but I have such a respect that she is speaking up for that and challenging people and speaking very openly. And she's of course getting a lot of positive and negative feedback from different people, but I think she's so brave that she just is pushing through, and she's like, you can't keep being negative and doing this. I'm gonna keep talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like her.
Patriarchy.
Yeah. she's a good one.
She is amazing.
Donni, what's something you're working on improving?
I think that one of the biggest things that I've been trying to be mindful of lately and continue doing is to write down like big ideas as I have them.
Oh yeah.
That's smart.
Like I think, and saying them out loud too. Like I've been doing it as a team a lot, where we're like, okay, let's say the bigger picture goals. I don't think you'll ever get there if you don't actually say them out loud, because then you work towards them, right? So it's like starting to manifest these things and actually doing it, like creating a vision board in some essence, but like just using a notebook to write down those big visions. Because at some point you can look back and go, oh, like that was a big vision, but one day it won't be.
Yeah.
So
That's amazing.
something I've been trying to do.
That's
What about
good.
you, Leah?
I think because we're about to head home and I have some busy things coming up, I'm going to be working on just like really being careful with how I plan my time and my week so that Dan and I have some quality time together.
Yeah,
Like
you
just
gotta catch
making
up.
sure that I
Keeping away.
protect like a couple nights or whatever time we decide to carve out and just like have quality time. So I think it's not necessarily something I'm working on improving, but that's just something I'm going to be working on this week.
It's like you got to get your balance back. Like I feel like being out of town, I always feel like that. I'm like, I just need to go home and get my like daily routine.
Yeah.
I've been away like literally like I think feel like
you've been
7
away for
weeks
so
out of
long.
like the last 10 weeks. I feel like that's what I want to work on when I get home too.
Yeah, just like it's so easy when you come back to feel like kind of chaotic for a while
Yeah.
and not feel settled. So I don't want that. I want to be like disciplining my time almost. If discipline is the right word. I think it works.
We've been home for like 2 months, and
Just because we're not going to be home for the
we're
rest
not
of the
gonna be
year.
home for the rest of the year. And I've been like, I haven't been taking it for granted, but I've been like, oh, I love this.
Yeah,
Wow.
me too.
I think it feels nice to be in a routine.
Yeah.
So you guys traveling for the podcast the rest of the year?
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. We're going out on tour again and going international this year. And
Amazing.
yeah, so it'll be good. It'll be good.
So how long are you guys actually going for, like at a time?
We'll be gone average of like almost 2 weeks a month, week and a half a month, something like that, depending on the month. Like March, we're gone.
So exciting.
Right. But it'll be great. Yeah.
That's amazing. Krista, one thing you're working on improving.
This week I'm working on improving my managerial skills, I guess, with our team. We have three girls on the team, 4. And I just am working on really figuring out how to like encourage and be clear about my direction and clear about the feedback that I'm giving them, and, make sure that they know how valuable they are, and just figure out how to be a manager of a team, especially when it's like our baby and our business, something I care about so much and something I know so well. So I'm really just trying to figure that out. And I think I need to like start reading up on it and just educating myself more on practices that I can implement that will like help us just succeed down the line.
If you like Brene Brown, read Dare to Lead.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I
Oh
should.
man. It will
Okay, cool.
I should get the audiobook.
and give you get the audiobook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually think I have the audio.
I would love that. I think that's such a, because I know I was like, I need to figure out something to read, and I think that will be it. I think that's it.
Yeah. If you read it, let me know.
Yeah.
We can share some thoughts on it.
Perfect.
It's really good.
Book club.
Lindsey, what's one thing you're working on improving?
I'm working on improving, just like noticing if I'm like believing a stressful thought too much, like putting too much weight into like something that comes up, whether as it relates to the business or as it relates to relationships, like the mind is always going to fire, and try to protect us and all of that. So just like realizing when it's true, like, is this true? and do I like, you can choose or not choose to believe it. So knowing when it serves me and when it doesn't has helped me to kind of be a little bit more peaceful around things that might be in transition or in between, if that makes sense.
Yeah, makes total sense.
Yeah.
And I like what you said, that you can take that thought and kind of think about the thought and choose if it's real or not.
Yeah,
choose to accept it or not to. You don't
yeah,
have
because
to
sometimes
accept
it's
every
literally based in like something that happened 10 years ago, and it's just like a trigger, and I'm like, okay, so I'm not, you know, in my 4th grade classroom feeling ashamed right now. I'm like, we can move on from here. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could just be like a trigger, and I can
Total
like,
trigger and not even true.
reframe it. Yeah.
Yeah. Love it. Okay. Tell us more about the podcast, a little bit about what you guys, how it started, and give our listeners a bit of an idea.
Yes. Well, we're here to give you the tea.
Yes.
So Almost 30 started, you know, Lindsey and I met 3.5 years ago now. And I was auditioning for SoulCycle. So she's a SoulCycle instructor. I think you guys have it in Vancouver.
Yeah.
Yes. So I wanted to be a SoulCycle instructor so bad. I was like doing all the things, trying my very best. Didn't get it when I was in New York when I auditioned. And when I didn't get it, they were like, I was very uncomfortable on the microphone. So I didn't know how to be on a microphone. So I started to get vocal lessons in New York City, not knowing that we would have a podcast. And then when I was going to audition again, I was moving to LA where Lindsey had just moved to. And someone was like, you should connect. She'll really help you with your audition, blah, blah, blah. So we connected. She helped me with the audition, and I didn't get it. But in that time, we became, you know, fast friends, and we're just having these deep conversations, you know, me about not getting my dream job and feeling like something that I wanted so badly that was meant for me wasn't going to be mine anymore, and so depressed and feeling so lost and moving across the country. And Lindsey was going through her own transitions in relationship and family, and we were just like, no one talks about, you know, their 20s and their 30s as like such a pivotal time. I think people are like, oh, college is crazy. Like, you change so much, you grow so much. I'm like, I didn't really grow that much. And I think when you are out in the real world, quote unquote, or you're on your own, or you have a job, or you're pursuing your passion, or you're getting in your first serious relationship and managing your finances, figuring out your sexuality, your body's changing, all of these things, there's just so much happening that we wanted to talk about it. And we wanted to just open up the conversation and just be like, hey, are we alone? Like, in thinking all these things, in transitioning so much in and out of different parts of our life. So at Bulletproof Coffee, I said, you know, do you think we could start a podcast? And, you know, Lindsey's been a performer her whole life, so she's always down. She's like, yeah, sure. Like, let's do it. So, you know, we recorded for 6 months on.
And how long ago was that?
Probably 3 years ago. And then recorded for 6 months on the closet floor of her apartment, like for months and months and months and months, like every day. And then finally we're like, okay, like, let's do this. And then we released our first episode.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
6 months of content. Like, what did
So
you do
much.
with that?
Never put it out.
Never
Isn't
put
it
it
such
out.
a shame?
Yeah.
I mean,
It
was
mess.
probably gold.
It's a mess.
It was fun. I think we've released like a couple as like, you know, just LOLs, but but it was a really important time because our chemistry was that, like, we worked out our chemistry, we found our voices, we kind of worked out what the show would feel like, at least initially. It's evolved a lot since then. But yeah, it was so cool because never did we ever feel like, oh, we got to do this. We just like wanted to, and we showed up consistently every single week, a few times a week, not knowing what it was going to become, not knowing that it could make us money, not knowing any of these things. It could create a community, and we just did it. And that pull, that, like, you can't describe it, but it was there the whole time.
You just kept doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was great.
I love that.
Yeah.
But I'm like so ashamed that you didn't put out any of the content.
Oh my gosh.
I mean,
It's so laughable. And the
it's on a
equipment was
janky little
whack.
recorder.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because we were talking, we have like 110 episodes
Yes.
probably
Yeah.
now. And sometimes I look back, I'm like, oh, like maybe regrets about certain episodes. And I'm like, should we like take them down? And Leah's like, no, we're not taking them down. Like, it's part of who we are and where we've come from.
Yes.
But like at some point you kind of question it, right? Because we've come so far and really liking where we're at right now. But like maybe like the first 10, I don't know, you know?
I know people won't go back. I mean, I think people do go back. Some people are like, oh, I'm going to work my way back. I mean, the first episodes are crazy.
Yeah.
Like I would urge people not to go back.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah,
same.
but also I have an opinion on this too, that we all are comparing ourselves from like where someone else is later when they've been doing something for a few years.
Yeah.
So for us to all leave those up, I think is encouraging if someone
I
goes
know.
back and they're like,
That's a good point.
You know what? I'm at that stage.
Totally.
But I can get to that stage where they are now. I think it's encouraging.
And for us, it's always been authentic, like
Yeah.
very little edits. Like it's pretty much we put out an episode. So I think it's like, it's true.
Yes.
Yeah.
Same.
I like that you guys have put out a couple of those closet ones, even if it's not all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's still
They're
really
hilarious.
encouraging for people to see where you've come from.
I agree.
Yeah.
And you've built such a strong community. Was that something you intentionally did, or did it start happening and then you kind of decided to build it and bring it in? What was that about?
Yeah, I think we got like a little hint of it in the beginning when our friends started to respond. They're like, oh, this is great. Like, I really feel like these conversations need to be had, and I've been feeling this way. And so, you know, that was an indication. And then, you know, we started the secret Facebook group, which, you know, has grown exponentially since then. And those conversations in there, the fact that we could create a safe space and kind of set the tone for what it would be like. You know, Krista and I would set the tone on the podcast, just really respectful, inclusive, curious, fun, and really open and vulnerable, you know, if they wanted to be. And that started to grow pretty quickly. And then we started doing in-person events, and that really changed everything. We realized that this podcast was not about us, you know, like we are the stewards of the information, and we are them. We are learning in real time with everyone. And, you know, we've had episodes where it's kind of hard to learn live. Like, it's really uncomfortable and maybe at times shameful and embarrassing that maybe we don't know about something, or that we've been living our life, you know, ignorant to XYZ. So I think it's been really refreshing for people to be able to say, wow, me too. And I want to learn as well. And for us to give them the resources and the permission to do that, I think has been our differentiator. So that's why we go out on tour. It's really important to us to meet as many people as possible. We just started an ambassador program. So we have almost 50 women all across the world who are creating community in their community. You know, inspired by almost 30, they're doing meditations and yoga classes and volunteer opportunities with groups of women and just connecting.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
I love how you said like stewards of the information.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
because it really takes like the ego out of the whole thing. And I think like social media started with like, you know, one form to another, and then podcasts are like, they're really real and informative, but it's very different than other forms of social media because of the information and the content. And I like the way you just voiced that.
Yeah, and I think that what you're doing is so different in the sense that you are talking about things not that you think people should hear, but you're talking about things that you're like, we were curious, we were going through this, other people have been asking us this, we've been having these conversations, let's just put it out publicly. It's like things people actually want to hear, not advertising or anything where you're telling them what they should hear.
Yeah.
And that seems like it's the differentiator. Also, your transparency and honesty is obviously.
We've definitely had some topics that are like very risque, you know, suicide, death, white privilege. You know, we've just really tried our best to be unafraid to go there and like make it less uncomfortable for others to do it when we're, you know, in a safe space and we're in public and we're in front of everyone. So I think, you know, for Lindsey and I, we just want to use our opportunity in front of this community as best we can. And by doing that, we want to explore topics that will help change people's lives and help give people an opportunity to see things differently.
And conversations that aren't really happening between that many people anymore.
I agree.
I think that I haven't listened to all of your podcasts, but I've looked through the topics, and I think that they're conversations that a lot of people are afraid to have. It's like, who do you talk to? Like, can I bring that up with my friends? No one wants to really talk about those things that make you uncomfortable.
If they're dark and uncomfortable, like a lot of times when you're with your friends, it's like fresh and airy and you're having fun and you want to like share all your successes and, you know, laugh together, and you're not necessarily talking about the skeletons in the closet.
Yeah, like we had someone on this week, her husband is dying. So it was like sharing her story, and, you know, people that are going through that have experienced grief or, you know, could potentially lose someone are really going to relate, and they're really going to feel it and connect. But then also people too that have people they love that aren't sick are going to be reminded that they're in a situation where they have someone that's fully present for as long as, you know, we could hope that they're there, and that they can like learn to love them better or differently.
Well, and maybe they can also learn how to love the people that are going through that.
I also just don't think that also always has to be dark. Like, that's real life. And like,
I agree.
we're all going through hard things all the time, and it's what you do with it. Like, do you just get down and out and stay in your house and not, you know what I mean? It's just real life. Like, I think you have to learn, and a podcast may be a great way to do that, to show that you can talk about hard topics without it being a total like and move on and still like improve from that, right? Like snap out of it.
Yeah,
Totally.
That's wonderful.
You know, my parents didn't talk to me about any of that stuff, anything really substantial, you know, bless them, but we didn't really have that conversation. So I would learn from books and podcasts and travel and stuff like that, but I never really had anyone that I could learn from. And I'm not saying that people could now have us to learn from, but I think that now people have access to resources that are on topics that are really applicable to real life. Again, death is the example. Death is very, very applicable to real life. We will all experience it in multiple ways in our lives. So like using this platform as an opportunity to educate people about topics that, you know, maybe they're not talking about with their friends and their parents, like you said, is really important.
Yeah. I like that. And I like that you're having those hard conversations. I think it's brave. You also do a lot of collaborations. Do you have tips for collaborating? You guys have done so many.
Like sponsors?
Yeah, I guess in the form of sponsors, right? Is that what you call them?
Yeah,
Probably,
yeah. Partners?
Yeah, partnerships.
yeah.
Krista handles or has handled up until, you know, now we have a little bit of help on our team, but she's really the master of that. But I would just have to say that, you know, our partnerships are successful because we treat them very personally. You know, we want to know the name and the faces and the stories behind the company, the founders, what their goals are, like what's important to them, what their why is, and how we can then work together to really bring that to more people. Because, you know, now we knew pretty early on that our community really trusts us. So anything we promote, they're like, okay.
It's
like,
so intimate.
Yeah,
you
you
don't
have to be
want to
careful with
that.
it.
Yeah. So, I mean, we would never, ever, you know, promote anything that we didn't use ourselves or believe in. So it's really important to us to nurture those relationships. And it's fun to grow with a brand, you know? So if we really jive well with a brand, we want to, you know, make sure that they're happy and that they can get creative with us. We're not like hard and fast on like how we work together. It's just like what feels really good for both sides.
That's actually, it sounds like just how you approach the podcast and your whole business is like, what is going to work the best for everybody involved? I like that. I think that's a refreshing way to deal with partnerships, because you could easily just have you know, 3 ways and this is it and you can take it or leave it, but it's more organic, it sounds like.
And we really care, and like we work really hard, so we always are grateful for our partnerships. And, you know, if someone else has a partnership they're just getting paid for and they don't care, it's like you can tell in the ad spot or you can tell in the quality of the product. But like Lindsey and I really, really care. And because we know these people on a first name basis of a lot of these companies, where if we would do something bad, we would let them down. You know, it would be like a person relationship where we would be hurting them. So it's been really beautiful to grow alongside a lot of these brands, you know, these mid-size, small size brands. You know, Moellons has been a sponsor for a long time, and really help and support their growth, because there's so many female founded companies right now that are popping up everywhere. And it's really special for a female founded company such as ours to support other female founded companies or other conscious companies as they grow their business. I mean, that's what's really amazing about podcasts, is have the discernment to decide which brands we want to work with and support and expose our community to.
What an exciting time in business that there's so many women-led businesses that you can partner with.
Yeah.
That's
It's
really
amazing.
cool.
I feel like podcasts are such a good way for brands to align themselves to, because there's so much content there.
Yes.
So instantly I feel like it elevates a brand by even just being chosen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Completely.
Yeah, and it's podcasting's nice because you hear our voices. So it's like, you know, like it's not, I don't know, with Instagram, anyone could write a caption, brands write captions and they send them to you.
Yeah.
You know, if you're an influencer, they want you to say a specific thing, they want you to hold it a certain way, whatever. But with us, it's like, you know, I love Primal Kitchen because I actually just use the creamer in my thing. And you can use a personal antidote. You can hear my voice. We can have a conversation about it. Yeah. And it just makes it much more effective than a Facebook ad or, you know, whatever advertising.
It's authentic.
Yes.
It's just so much more authentic. You can't really fake it.
Yeah.
Or it's a lot harder.
It's a lot harder. For
You
sure.
know, there was like Instagram, and then there was like Insta stories, which was a much more authentic element. But then podcast is like a truly engaging conversation. And we keep talking. We're like, it's actually like the most old school
that's so
way
true.
to communicate.
Oh, yeah.
Just sit down and have a conversation.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Speaking of business, you have something exciting coming up. Do you want to share with us about Podcast Pro?
Oh, yeah. So Lindsey and I have had, I mean, every one of our friends now has a podcast. I mean, so many people that we know are
They're popping up everywhere.
Attracted to the medium. And I get it. Like, I am in love with podcasting. It's so special and important to me. And the community of podcasters are so supportive and inclusive. And we wanted to just create every resource that we didn't have when we started. So when we started, there was really only a lot more guys in the space. There wasn't anybody that looked and felt like Lindsey and I. So I wanted to just provide people with pitch templates, Instagram templates, and then also whatever they would need to launch a podcast. So that's information on, you know, the tools that you need or the resources that you need or the production. But basically your Podcast Pro has everything someone would need if they want to launch, grow, or monetize a podcast.
I
So handy.
really like it because
Smart.
I always reference the California gold miners.
Oh, yeah.
What?
And there's a metaphor I always discuss about, during the California gold rush, like way back. I don't know. I'm going to botch this entire story because I've told it so many times. It probably changes every single time.
You're on a good start.
And all these people were like rushing to like mine for gold, right?
Everyone was focused on finding the gold.
Well, the first California millionaire was the guy that ran the corner store that sold the shovels and the stuff to the gold miners.
Yeah.
So it's like such a good business tool of like supplying the trend versus like being with the trend.
Wow.
Or trying to
some
like
way or
catch
another.
up. You're
Trying to like,
Love that.
yeah, I think about
but you're
it
doing
a
it in
lot.
such an organic way.
You're doing it in such a, like, you didn't even necessarily, you know,
That is
realize
so
it in that way,
true.
but it's very smart and
Yeah.
it's such a great business move.
Yeah.
So I think
Wow,
that
I love
that's-
that.
You two are so
Go
real.
look up the real story and someone who can
no,
tell it
that's a
properly.
great-
No,
That
that's
makes
done.
sense, yeah.
I'm done. That's the story. I loved that.
I do love that though. And yeah, what do you think about all of these people popping up with podcasts? Like, is it ever kind of annoying that you're like, everybody has like, it might not be as authentic?
I think our ego sometimes thinks it's annoying because it's just like, okay, like I think what tends to happen sometimes is that, you know, Krista and I have built this from nothing and have really done it all on our own. So I think we are who we are in this space because of all the mistakes we've made, because of all the things we've done on our own. And so, you know, to take shortcuts there, which is kind of sometimes what we get, you know, like, how do you do this? Can you connect me here? Like, we're always happy to connect people and do all of that. Like, that brings us so much joy. But there's a part of us that is like,
We had to find that ourselves.
no, it's not even that, because I don't believe in being like, no, you have to figure it out. It's more like, it's going to be so much richer and more dynamic if you kind of like figure some of these things out in your own way, because then it's going to pop up in such a unique way and it's going to be a unique podcast, so that like we don't want their podcast to be our podcast. We don't want their podcast to be like someone's, you know what I'm saying? Like
There's no shortcut.
the process is what has made it so unique.
Yes.
Well, everybody has to find their magic.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
and
you
it's
do.
like maybe it took you guys 6 months on the floor of the closet to figure out what your magic was. And then even that, like, still manifesting and growing from there. But it's like everyone, we're all just kind of on a journey to find that. And the failures kind of just add to it. Totally.
Yeah.
I get it.
That's
love
why I
that.
think you should leave those first episodes up.
Yes.
It gives
Totally.
those
I'm
people
going to.
hope.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We should all
for
listen
sure.
back.
Like, don't listen to mine. I mean,
I know. I would love to.
Go back in
my
the
gosh,
archives.
I'm going to do
Go
that.
back. Okay, well, as we wind up, and I'm excited to go back and listen to more of your podcast, because especially
thanks.
after meeting you and hearing your
thank
just your hearts for what you're doing. I'm excited. But something we love to ask our guests, and it would be great if you'd each share maybe something, a thought, but a piece of advice or a mantra that you're living your life by.
I recently did Reiki. I'm learning Reiki, and I'm gonna be a Reiki person. I got Reiki attuned, whatever. So basically, it was like initiation to be able to channel life force energy, which is Reiki. So one of the things that they say in Reiki is just for today. So there's a whole scripture that they say, but it's like, just for today, I will nourish my body. Just for today, I will do all these things. So it just helps to really keep you present. And when I apply it to goals I have, you know, if it's, I want to be more patient in my life, or I want to be more loving, or I want to be more kind, I kind of apply the just for today. So I can be like, just for today, I want to be more patient. And it takes the pressure off, keeps you more present, and really allows you to be more successful when working towards whatever goals or mantras that you're working with.
it's not so intimidating.
Yes. Because then it's like a diet when you're like, okay, I'm never going to have sugar again, you know, whatever.
Yeah, it's like right now,
Yes.
I'm just
today.
like not going to go to the junk food aisle.
Yeah, exactly.
Right
Just
now.
for today, I'm going to not have sugar or not go to the junk food aisle. Exactly.
I like that.
Yeah.
Lindsey?
That's a good one. I recently had like a conversation both with Colette and my therapist, Colette, the facialist, and my therapist, about like, you know, when I do have things that I want to express, my immediate thought is, well, what's the point? Basically, is it, you know, I think, well, it won't help the situation. It might make them feel awkward, or it might just ruffle someone's feathers. And so really reminding myself that any feeling I have has a point, you know, whether it's to express it or to dig into on my own, that like the feeling isn't there for no reason. The feeling is there to move me in some sort of direction, or to start a conversation with someone, or to just incite some sort of growth, however big or small. So really giving value to my feelings. So just, I guess the reminder or the mantra is there is a point, you know, when thinking about thoughts or feelings that come up.
That is so, so profound and so true.
You guys are just like, hold on a second while I come up with the most mindful mantra. You both have, you have such a nonchalant like demeanor about yourselves, but I can tell it's all very like well thought out and authentic. So I
thank
really
you.
like your energy.
Yeah, so genuine and so intentional.
Oh,
Thank you so much for sharing with us. Share with our listeners where they can find you online.
Yeah, so you can listen to us anywhere you can listen to podcasts, Almost 30 Podcast. Find us on Instagram at Almost 30 Podcast, Almost 30 Podcast, on Twitter as well. Before we mention Your Podcast Pro, so that's yourpodcastpro.com. And then I'm at Lindsey Simsick on Instagram.
And I'm at 100 blog on Instagram.
I also quickly wanted to say, what are some of the places that you're going on your road trip?
Oh, yes.
Because people might want to come meet you guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Austin, Atlanta, London, Sydney, Melbourne, Columbus, Nashville, Miami, Denver,
Philly,
New York,
Chicago, San
Holy
Francisco,
shit.
San Francisco.
Love it.
Los Angeles.
And so
Good.
what's on the agenda when you guys are there? Are you guys doing live events?
Yeah, it's a combination. So what we've been doing on tour thus far has been like 50 to 200 people. It's like a more of an intimate workshop. And then we'll have a speaker come in. We have experiences, all of that. And then we're doing 4 to 5 live shows this year. So it'll be bigger venues, more presentational style, theater style. And then we'll be visiting some colleges as well.
So great. We'll post everything in our Facebook group.
Sounds great.
So that everyone can find all the details there, and we'll share that around too.
Perfect.
Love y'all.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
You guys are great.
Bye.
Follow them everywhere, and then you can also follow us on social at Stop for the Priv and at PRIV Talks Podcast. Subscribe, leave us a review, and feel free to rate us 5 stars. We would love that. You can shop our website with the code PRIV Talks for 20% off, and pop into our Facebook group for exclusive inside scoops, events, giveaways, all the details on the upcoming tour, and anything else we can share from today's podcast.
That's a spiel, Leah. You really nailed that.
Killed that shit. I was thinking that too.
Good.
Last time for
great
this
job.
week, and we're out.
Oh my gosh.
We are signing off. Bye.